Welcome to episode 3 of Guidesley Girls. We're so excited you're here, Jamie. I'm Carly.
And I'm Delaney, and we're ready to get this thing kick-started. So today on this podcast, we have Mr. Jamie Cox joining us. He is one of our beloved guides down in Marco Island, Florida. Jamie, where are you today?
I'm in Naples.
You're in Naples. Okay. That's where you live full time?
Yeah. I live in Naples, Marco Island, just on the other side of the bridge here.
Very nice. All right. Well, how we usually start these podcasts is with a quick game of In or Out, led by our very own Carly.
I promise it's simple, Jamie, and it's quite fun. And I really think the last one might lead us into a good conversation. So I'm going to list something, and I want you to say whether you're in or out, and it's all fishing related.
Okay, let's do it.
All right. So keeping versus catch and release, in or
out? Well, that's not in or out. I would keep.
Okay, perfect. Shark fishing charters, in or out?
In.
In. Fishing tournaments, in or out?
In.
Fishing in the rain?
In.
Well, now you're going to say the same thing to me. This isn't really in or out. Clients reeling versus the guide helping.
Oh, clients reeling.
Okay. Spinning setups for tarpon, in or out?
In.
Manatee charters, in or out?
I'm in.
All right. And last but not least, Instagram photo charters, in or out?
I'm in.
All right.
We have a lot of questions about the Instagram charters. I have no clue what that even means, but I got wind of it the other day. Is that something that you offer?
Yeah, it's something that's brand new. So down here, the beaches are super nice, and we have access to an area called the 10,000 Islands. So there's literally tons and tons and tons of beaches that you can just pull up to, and there's not anyone anywhere nearby.
Yeah.
And I've found that people were booking fishing trips and then asking to stop on the beach and waste an hour taking pictures. So we literally just started throwing that up on the website. It's only been up there a couple of weeks now. I don't know that we've had an official booking on that specific trip.
It's not pictures with just fish, right? It's not like trophy catches. It's literally just going to these beaches and getting your money shots.
Yeah, just holding rods and taking pictures and going to beaches and taking pictures. And it's a thing.
I like it. I'd be interested to see a couple months down the road how distinguished that makes it. Because I feel like it mixes with the charters so many times. So to have its own branch for that, I wonder if it's going to separate the anglers from the fishing photos.
Yeah. Well, to truth be told, in our area, I would say maybe 10 to 15% of our people are actually anglers that want to go and catch like trophy fish.
Yeah.
The mass majority of our guests, they just want to be on the water and have a good time and catch a few things. They're not specific. I want a 42-inch snook, please. They just say, you know what, if we catch a couple of fish, we're going to have a good day. And we just give them a good time.
That's awesome.
I love that. That's like my kind of thing. I think I'm going to go to Marco Island and book the Instagram photo tour. I want to be the first. That's right up my alley.
I love it. Honestly, it was so funny. I was out on a boat with my grandparents yesterday, and my grandpa, he's like wanting to reel in as many fish as possible, take home as much meat as possible. My grandma couldn't care less. She wanted to touch a reel once, get a couple pictures with her granddaughter, and get off the boat, have a good day. She took a nap, dozed off in the corner for a little bit, and it was the same charter, two entirely different experiences, but it worked out.
Yeah, that's pretty common for us. Oftentimes we'll even drop the mom and kid off at a beach, and we'll fish nearby and come back and get them and go drop them off at another beach and fish nearby.
Yeah. Well, I feel
that's a good idea.
That's cool that you're able to work with clients like that. I feel like sometimes there's just such a rhythm and routine of what it has to be, when at the end of the day, the dad wants to be out on the water for a couple days of that trip. So if the mom and the kid can get a free boat ride to an island and have a good day themselves, it's the best of both worlds.
Yep.
Have you always been that lenient towards your charters, or did it kind of start out with your formula and branch into that?
I I don't take this too seriously. I learned pretty quickly that it here it's not really all about the fishing. It's just about the experience. It's more of a hospitality gig than a fishing gig.
Mm.
So if the demand is, hey, I want to go fishing, but I don't want to feel guilty that I left my wife and kids at the hotel so that I could go fishing on our vacation, and I'm going to drag them along. Let's make sure they have a good time. Then we fill that demand.
I love it.
Me too. That's perfect. Jamie, tell us, how did you get into this? It's you have to be a fisherman, obviously, to run fishing charters, but it sounds like you want this to be an experience for people. So how did you get into guiding?
Yeah, well, there's a bunch of answers to that story. So I own real estate companies. And even to this day, that's why when we first got on, it said Maps Coach. I still coach real estate companies all over the US and Canada.
Oh,
Nice.
So they pay me a subscription, and I coach them on their business, and I do that a day or two a week. And the rest of the time I was out on the water and just relaxing and fishing and having a good time. And a lot of my friends are guides, and they kept suggesting that I get my license and take people out. And between us, I didn't want to ruin fishing. I thought if I made it a
Right.
job, that I'm going to do what I normally do and turn it into something that I'm grinding on all day long.
yeah.
One of my friends actually convinced me to go get my license. And he said that basically he double booked, or his boat broke down and all that stuff. And when that happened, he could just call me and send me some trips here and there. And finally I agreed to go get it. And right off the bat, I realized that it doesn't suck to take people out fishing.
Love that.
So quickly I started marketing my own thing and looking to turn it into a business. And that's how it came to be.
That's so interesting, because I feel like most people don't have the foresight to say, I don't want to mix something I love with business. I feel like I'm always the reverse. I'll do something that I love and I overdo it to the point of, oh man, why did I make this a business or a deal? I just like going to these classes or something. I think it's interesting it worked out on the flip side.
That's actually the second part of the story. Is in the real estate world, it's pretty common when you're succeeding at a fairly high level to have a coach, right? You hire a business coach or some sort of coach or mentor. And years ago, I guess it was 2017 or 2018, without going into too many details, I had stretched myself pretty thin in the real estate industry, coaching people and attempting to run a franchise and having my own real estate businesses. And my coach told me that I needed to decide what I wanted to be when I grow up. He said, you can't have all of these lanes.
Mm-hmm.
And no exaggeration, we spent the better part of a year analyzing the financials of which one of those lanes would be better for me. And he asked a question that changed the direction of everything. Is he said, have you ever considered that it's not about financial income? And I said, no, that's why we run these businesses, right?
Right.
He said, if you had to make the decision based off of emotional income, what would you do? And as soon as he said it, I knew all of the changes that needed to be made in that world. Me coming here and fishing was on the emotional income side of it. And I just knew that if I turned it into a business, it was going to become more about the financial income.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why when you asked the beginning, it's turned into a business, but I'm doing everything I can not to take it seriously. It's a fishing trip and we're just going to go have a good time.
That's awesome. And a very, very rare frame of mind, I feel like. That's awesome.
Yeah, what better way to approach it is for somebody who doesn't know a ton about fishing, like if I were to go and somebody was using like all of these terms and like trying to make it something that to me is not, where I just want to go and like experience it and have a good time with my husband, my son, like I just want to, it's just about the feeling you get when you're out there. And I mean, Delaney just got off the boat yesterday. So it's so,
and I feel like every guide that I've ever been out with, all of my favorite guides to get on a boat with are the ones that meet you exactly where you are. They answer your dumb questions. They answer the best of the best questions, and they treat you at the level that you are of fishing and for whatever you want the date to be. And they cater to that as much or as little as you want to be.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think me not being from this industry kind of gives me a little advantage. I have a ton of respect for a lot of the guys down in the marina building their charter business, yet they want to be fishermen. You know what I mean? They want to advertise that they catch trophy fish. They want to advertise that they're going to put you on a 200-pound tarpon guaranteed. Yeah. And they really waking up enjoying fishing. And there's nothing wrong with that. But like I said, there's a small group of the population specifically that comes here that wants that. So I figured if we were going to make a business out of this, it had to be what you just described, where it's open to everybody. You got 3 or 4-year-old kids catching 10-inch snapper and loving life.
Yeah.
And the guide has to enjoy that too. Otherwise, when they catch that little fish and you're like, oh, it's only a 10-inch snapper, then you're sucking the life out of their trip.
And then shutting off the expectations.
What is the youngest child you've ever had on a charter? And the only reason I ask is because I have a 2-year-old and I can just see my 2-year-old just jumping off the side of the boat because he loves to swim. And I'm just like, I'd love to go out and take him, but what the heck?
I feel like that'd be more of a headache for you, Carly, than anybody else.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, I don't know that I should actually answer that. I'll tell you why. We regularly have 3 and 4-year-olds on the trip all the time. And that's one of the reasons I rolled out the 2-hour trip is I noticed a lot of kids can't make it 4 hours. And I rolled out the 2-hour trip so that more kids would book. And then we would have the option of extending when it wasn't in our busy season if they were doing well. If they're ready to jump off the boat, then we're done at 2 hours. But the youngest, I went on a trip one time and I thought the lady was pregnant, and we're out fishing. We're probably an hour into the trip, and then all of a sudden I hear a baby crying, and this lady had on a hoodie and she had on one of those, what are those wrappy things that wrap around you where you hold the baby?
Like the baby carriers.
Yeah.
The baby was under the hoodie, like on her stomach. And if she would have fell in, it would have been game over. I had no idea that she had this maybe 3-month-old baby.
I thought you were going to say that she was pregnant and had the baby on board.
Me too.
No, the baby was under her hoodie. It was like a 3-month-old baby.
Oh my God. That's scary.
You didn't say anything.
I mean, you could take a 3-month-old on the boat, but like tell them.
I had no idea that the baby was there, nor do I even know if they make life jackets for a baby that small.
It can't even hold up his head. There's no shot. Maybe she was hoping for like an infant water training that day.
Yeah, I don't know. My boats aren't Coast Guard inspected, so anyone under 7 in my state has to wear a life jacket.
Right.
So obviously, I wasn't equipped for a baby.
That's funny. That's it. Well, that's a funny thing too, because it's one of those things where you don't ask if a woman's pregnant. So it's not like the pre-screening process could have happened without being inconsiderate or rude. You're kind of in a pickle there.
Yeah. So what do you do? I don't know. We had just a few minutes. It was a 2-hour trip, so we didn't have very much time left on the trip. We finished it out and went in, but there you go. Thank goodness, I'll knock on wood, that nothing bad happened, because had she fell over, it would have been bad for everybody.
Definitely.
Wait, I have a random question, just because I've never been down to the Naples Marco Island area, but I mean, booking David's trips down there, he's been there twice this past year. I know him and Mitch went out fishing with you a couple months back and they had the best time ever. If you were a tourist going to Marco Island, Naples area, knowing what you know, what would the ideal week look like? Like, what would you do? Why would you visit the 10,000 Islands? Like, what's special about the area?
So it's hard to get here, first of all. A lot of people will go to Florida. They'll go to Miami and Fort Lauderdale, or even Daytona or Tampa. They have major airports. So or even up in the Panhandle, Destin and all of that up there, it's easy to get to. So when people come to Florida, they end up partying and having lots of fun in those areas, and it becomes more of a nightlife type event with stuff like that during the day. Marco's mostly an older crowd that has some money, right? They have some disposable income, and you have to try to get here, right? So you're going to fly into an airport and probably drive an hour or 2 hours just to get here. So all of that partying stuff doesn't exist. The person that comes to Naples and Marco wants to get away and relax and have slow pace. Everything closes at 9 o'clock. So you can't even go get milk at 9 o'clock at night. So if you want to disconnect and get away from people, this is the place to come.
What do the 10,000 Islands look like? What do you do there? Is it just kind of beach territory? You go hang out?
Yeah, it's literally 10,000 little mangrove islands. Some of them maybe 100 yards by 100 yards. Some of them you can't even stop on because it's just completely covered with mangroves. And just as far as you can go, all the way down towards Miami, around the bottom of the state, it's just island after island after island. Some of them have small little beaches you can pull up on. You can get lost back in there and have no idea where you're at.
That's beautiful.
Sounds about right. We travel to Miami every February because I'm in Buffalo, New York. And by the time February hits around here, I'm like, get me out of the snow. And we just hit Miami. It's right? Like, it's the furthest point that I'm like, okay, I can still get 70, 80 degree weather, which is just perfect when you're coming from -12 here in Buffalo.
Yeah. Well, you and the rest of the world, our busy time is October to May, maybe a little bit into June. So just as it starts getting really cold up there by you guys, people start flocking down here. Our population doubles towards the end of October because of all the people coming down with second homes and things.
So stuff is about to start ramping up for you.
Yeah, September has been honestly one of the slowest months I've ever had since I started doing this. So it's been all boat maintenance and upgrades and getting everything ready for what we call the season, which is October to April, May.
That's cool. How long have you been doing this, Jamie?
December will be 2 years.
Nice. And tell me, how did you find Guidesley? Because I was talking to Mitch on the Guidesley team yesterday, and he was like, yeah, David and I were down there. We were going to go fishing. And then Jamie just showed up. We were eating breakfast because it was raining or something. Yeah. And he's like trying to tell me this story. I'm like, so how did you find Guidesley? You've been doing this for almost 2 years. How did we come into the mix?
Well, I didn't know that anything like this existed. I knew that I needed to build a website. And I was looking for WordPress templates and all sorts of different ways to build a website. And I decided just to check out my friends' websites to see what they had. Yeah. And down at the bottom, it had a Guidesley logo. And I had never heard of Guidesley, so I Googled it. And I ended up calling somebody at Guidesley and asking about it.
Nice.
I remember them telling me, yeah, we'll set up a website for free. And me wondering, like, what the heck? How, coming from the real estate world, I've paid thousands of dollars for websites.
It makes 0 sense whatsoever.
It made no sense at all. So since then, my friend has actually stopped using Guidesley, and I don't really know why, but that's how I found out about you guys. Is I saw it at the bottom of his website and called, and it seemed like a no-brainer for me, especially being brand new to the industry.
Yeah. Well, it's funny. I've never heard anybody tell that story of getting to us. It's usually it's usually people being frustrated with the way that bookings work now and coming and finding us as a different source. Because I mean, that was like an add-on to everything else. Because the company was built for guides that were lacking their websites, which I think was like 80%. I mean, I could be off on those numbers, but it was a ridiculously high amount. Mm-hmm. And online bookings were, I think 30% of guides weren't getting any kind of online bookings whatsoever in this day and age. And that's just, I mean, it can't be happening these days. You're going to lose all your business. So originally it was built for that reason, I guess, just from a different direction to kind of contrast what was going on in the industry now. So that was like an add-on to the entire process. So it seems backwards, but if you look at where most guides are coming from with 20 years being in the industry and growing with it, only doing bookings through the phone and not having access to those capabilities, it makes a little bit more sense. Like I never hear a story like that coming in.
It was just my ignorance, you know. I knew the stuff that I needed. I needed some sort of consumer facing site, and I needed some way to take payments, and I needed some way to integrate a calendar. In the back of my head, I was going to have to build all of that stuff. And then when I found you guys, it made sense.
A little bit easier.
Yeah.
I want to get back to maybe a funny story, a wild story, but I guess my question would be, in these almost 2 years, what has been the most memorable trip you've been on? And maybe it's not necessarily you guiding, but a trip you've been on yourself.
So the most memorable trip was early on. There was these 3 ladies that booked a trip. They showed up at 8 a.m. at the marina, wasted. Just it's 8 a.m.
Oh, your bars aren't open past 9 p.m.
Yeah, and this isn't typical for us, I promise you. But they were wasted, and when I say 3 women, they were 2 sisters and a lifelong friend. So they grew up together. They've known each other.
This is great.
Years. They were in their late 60s, early 70s. One of them had a bad knee, so she had to sit the entire trip.
Oh gosh!
And we leave the marina, and I have maybe a 5-minute no wake zone before we can go. So I'm talking to them, finding out about them, and the first thing that they did was thanked me. And I said, "What do you mean?" And or why are you thanking me? And they said, well, the first 2 captains canceled when they found out it was 3 ladies. And that's not the first time I've heard that story, by the way, but they said that they had been canceled on twice when they found out that it was 3 ladies booking. So we get out there, come to find out they're all 3 retired, and they travel the world fishing.
That is awesome.
They knew what the heck they were doing. They were showing me photos of halibut and salmon and sturgeon.
What?
All kinds of stuff. And that's literally what they do, is they travel the world fishing. If you would have heard just the audio from the trip, you would have thought I had 3 22-year-old women just
oh my gosh.
4-hour trip. They polished off an entire case of Coors Light.
Oh my God, I love that.
On the back of the boat and peeing off the side of the boat.
Oh my gosh.
And
incredible.
And they knew what they were doing. To this day, they still text me just random photos of fish that they catch in different places. It was completely unexpected, but we had a lot of fun. We stayed out an extra hour just because we were having fun.
I wish that they had a TV show. How fun would that be?
It would be crazy.
We got to get them on, Delaney.
The Golden Girls of the Sea.
Yeah, it's fun.
That's freaking awesome. What did they even book? Like, how long was the charter?
It was a 4-hour charter. We ended up staying out almost 5 hours just because we were having a good time.
I love it. Delaney, you got anything? I'll keep going. I love these crazy stories.
You got it, Carly.
All right, Jamie, give us something else that we might not know about you, your business. Just give us like a fun fact, I guess.
A Fun facts. Well, that shows that you don't know me very well because there's not much fun about me. I'm pretty just
Getting that sense, you've kind of been all over the place in every regard since we've heard so far. You do a lot.
What do you mean?
I mean, real estate in combo with how you got into guiding, like your approach is just very interesting from most guides that we interact with on the day-to-day basis. You have a really cool story.
Well, thanks. Yeah, I'm still licensed in real estate. I don't sell a whole lot anymore, but if a friend or family or whatever calls me, I'll sell. Um, and I've narrowed down 2 days of my week to do the consulting stuff with the real estate that we talked about.
Right.
And then I'm out on the water. Now, long term, I don't want to be out there every single day. It's hard work, and
so hard on your body. How's your body holding up?
you know. So my goal is to actually build an actual business out of this, not to create a fishing captain job for myself. So as we ramp up for the season, I'm interviewing captains. We've added a couple of new boats. It's my goal that next year we do a little over 1,300 trips across the three boats.
Wow.
And I can't do 1,300 trips. So
nobody can.
Yeah. So we need people and boats to do that. So that's my focus right now.
Awesome.
Have you been successful?
No, I'm so concerned about all of our guides' bodies. It is such grueling work. Like the guy that I was out with yesterday, Dave, he's, I think 23 days in a row booked out on like 6 or 8 hour charters every day. So it's that chunk of time. He's catching bait in the morning for 2 hours before that. And then afterwards he's cleaning the boat and just rinse and repeat for the next day. How is it with even just a few days a week on your body?
Yeah, well, so that what you described is our late season. So March, April, May, it's not uncommon to do 90 to 120 trips a month. And it's just like that. It's sun up to sundown every day, multiple trips. And I can't physically keep up with it anymore. I'll do everything that I can, but I think the big problem is the contrast, right? Like in September, it's really slow. You might do 8 or 9 trips over the course of the month. And then we get October, November, December, and you're flirting with 100 trips.
Yeah.
You're
not going 0 to hero.
Yeah. Yeah. So a lot of the captains that I'm bringing on, they are younger and in better physical shape to be able to handle that.
How do you go about finding captains? I feel like this is something that we also typically hear from our guides is like, is there a space you can go on to just like searching for captain? Like it's just like finding any other talent. And of course, my seat here at Guidesley is getting to be the people person and bringing people on our team. But so it's so interesting to me, like how do you go out and find a captain?
Yeah, shoot. If you could help me figure that out, you and I would be very, very,
We're going to have to create like a separate recruiting space for this, Carly.
Yeah.
Right? It really seems like it's a need.
I don't think this is a podcast anymore. This might be a business meeting.
Yeah, it is an interesting conversation because in my previous life, I was really good at that, or at least I thought that I was really good at that. Finding captains that want to work and be dedicated to a place has proven to be really difficult. And someone that's really experienced in this industry might be laughing at me even saying that. What I'm learning is to run 3 boats, I probably need 12 captains, which means I probably need to interview 75 to 100 people to narrow it down.
How much time do you have in your day to do that with all of your consulting, with all of your guiding, and then your family on top of it? Because you have kids, right?
Yeah, I have 2 kids.
How old are they?
I'm sorry?
How old are they?
Almost 12 and almost 18.
You're busy.
Yeah. I've just started inviting captains on the boat. In the beginning, I was taking them to coffee and meeting at an office or whatever. And it just became too time consuming. So I just started inviting them to come out with me. and
Awesome.
just chatting with them, seeing how they're interacting with people. That, like I said, it's hospitality. I don't really care if they can catch fish or not. We can show them spots that they can go to catch fish. But they need to be enthusiastic, energetic, and engaging, and be able to deliver like a fun experience. And then we go from there. But yeah, I think short version of that is I think I need like 12 captains that basically want to run the trip when they want to run the trip, and then when they're somewhere else in the world, then they're not running trips. So hopefully over time I can figure that part of it out. I don't have it anywhere near figured out right now. It'd be really nice if I could have 3 or 4 people that I could just dedicate a boat to that person and let them run everything on that boat. But I don't have that part figured out yet.
It seems like an interesting combo between it being somebody that's dependable to be able to run that by themselves, and is also young. And young doesn't seem like it happens as much in Naples, like you were talking about.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Yeah, actually, now that you say that, a lot of the captains that I've hired are retired. Like one's retired Marine that he doesn't need the income to do this, but he enjoys being out on the water. But he's not going to do it 5 days a week from sun up to sundown. He'll do
but
it
it's also
he wants to,
Like those are the type of people that you do want on your boat. On the flip side of the coin, those people that are doing it because they're passionate about it. They're there for all of the right reasons and guiding your boat with a steady mind and without just a burnout mentality. I think either they're not pushing themselves 7 days a week.
Yeah, so I think there's something to that. So the short version of all of that is talent is a struggle. I'm getting it from everywhere that I possibly can. And I think I'll end up with somewhere 12 to 15 captains just kind of on an on-call basis until I get it figured out.
That's awesome.
I have a funny question. This is odd, but it seems to be one that comes up regularly. And tell me if you've ever heard of it before, because it sounds like some captains know it, some don't. Delaney brought a banana on the boat yesterday when she went fishing.
I didn't bring it. My grandma brought it. My grandma brought it. I just want to go on record saying that.
And on the boat she was on, it had a sign with a banana and like the X through it, like no bananas allowed. So do you know of this like theory, or I don't even know what I want to call it, of like it's bad luck to bring a banana on a boat?
Wives' tale.
Yes. I've heard of it. I'm familiar with it. And I've heard 1,000 different variations of why it came to be. Anything from people on a boat way back in the day that brought spiders, or if you brought bananas on a boat, they started to decompose and then ruined all the other fruit and all sorts of stuff. I don't buy into any of that stuff. There are bananas on our boats all the time from guests just bringing snacks from the hotels.
I'm glad that you said that, because I thought it was funny, because I love a good wives' tale. I mean, how much truth there is to it, who knows? But when it starts out as a wives' tale and then you have to back it with science, I always think that's a funny kind of reverse. Like I heard the theory that so one of the elements in bananas scares fish away. It's kind of like how they say you rub bananas on your legs so then bugs don't bite you, which does not work, but they say something in the banana will repel them. But yesterday we pulled in like 4 reds and 2 trout. And my grandma pulls out the bananas and I was like, and I didn't say anything, but she's like, Delaney, are you hungry? I was like, yeah, I'm pretty hungry. I just did a lot of work. I just shanked a couple in. So I start eating it and she goes, I've been staring at this sign up there. Why does he have a sticker with a banana with an X on it? And Dave, our guide, he perks up and he looks over and I'm like gnawing on a banana and he just just stopped everything he was doing. He goes, I would usually scold you, but that was pretty impressive. So I'll let it go this time.
That's funny. Yeah, I think people keep it up just because it's fun. Bring whatever you want as long as it's legal. I'm good with it.
Yeah.
There we go. All right. Leave us with the wildest thing that's happened. I got to meet these 3 women. I'll tell you that much. So we got to find them because I want to be their friend. First of all, what's the wildest thing that's happened since you started this business? Whether is it a trip, trying to find a captain, What's the craziest thing you've encountered?
Oh man, we've been stuck in storms. Florida's kind of weird where um, everything is nice one minute and then the next minute you're in the middle of storms with water coming over the side of the boat and you're trying to rush back in. So that's happened pretty regularly. This didn't happen to me, but it happened to one of my buddies. One of the days I was out on the water, he was coming back in from a trip and a manta ray jumped out and landed in the lap of one of his guests as he was going, I don't know, 35, 40 miles an hour down the channel.
Oh my God.
Wait, so the manta ray was keeping up with it speed-wise?
No, have you seen them just kind of jump out of the water occasionally? Yeah. It just so happened that he was going, a manta ray jumped and it landed on the lady. It didn't end up well for anybody. The lady did get injured.
Oh no.
What happened?
That's a crazy situation.
That's like one in a bajillion.
Yeah, it was just bad timing on everybody's part. I don't know. I think getting caught out in the storm was a few times with guests on the boat has kind of been an interesting experience, just because finding the direction and getting everybody back in and them not being comfortable on boats. That's happened a handful of times. We really try to avoid it. But I've only been doing this. December will be 2 years. So I don't have any crazy.
No, that's a pretty freaking crazy story.
We'll call you after this season, after your busy season, and you can let us know if that's changed.
I will say I was really impressed when David and Mitch were going down, and the tropical storm honestly came out of nowhere by my perception of it. I didn't see it coming. I scheduled bookings around everything. You were so good about working with exactly what the weather was doing and being so on top of it. Like, you alerted me of everything that was happening throughout, and you guys still somehow got out on the water. You may have gotten breakfast first and had some downtime first, but
we did get breakfast. Yeah, I was worried. And it was, that day was really rough. We probably shouldn't have even went out, but they came all the way down here, and I think we delayed 2 or 3 hours and ended up grabbing breakfast. And then we tried to squeeze in however much of a trip we could get in there. We ended up having a pretty good time. If I remember correctly, Mitch cooked into a small tarpon. But it wasn't the ideal conditions for us to be out there fishing. We just kind of squeezed in what we could.
That's nature for you, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, Mitch,
anything, Jamie, you want to share with us that maybe we haven't talked about today?
Well, I don't know if it's appropriate, but I want to thank you guys. Like, every single person that I've interacted with at your company has been great. I harass Mitch all the time. He's been very helpful.
Good.
Delaney, and the interactions that we've had where you've called to coordinate things for Mitch or whoever else, it's been awesome. And even when I have questions and somebody calls me from a call center or wherever it is that they're calling me from, they've always been super helpful. So it's taken one thing off of my plate that I don't have to worry about in running trips and hiring captains and all of that. I just kind of know that the logistics are going to be taken care of.
That's awesome. That's really, really nice to hear. Thank you. Yeah. And it's funny you use the word harass for Mitch, because the way that he talks about you, that kid loves you.
Oh, really? Yeah, I feel so bad. I sent him a text and then I'll send him another one. Sorry, I didn't realize it was Saturday. I lost track of my days. I'll shoot you an email. No rush.
No, we are too. We're kind of, we live in your world, so we have to cater to the world. So it kind of works well. And also, he's probably out fishing and just off of a boat too. He's always somewhere. Yeah,
he's always sending me pictures of grouper and stuff like that. So he's been very helpful. Even when he doesn't know the answer, I asked him a question yesterday or a day before, and he's always just straightforward. I don't know the answer, but I've looped in this person who will get the answer for us, and they always do. So we're figuring it all out together.
That's right.
We're going to force Mitch to watch this now that you've sung his praises.
Yeah, I think he texted me last night, maybe the night before, saying that he heard that I was going to be here. I guess he's going to do it as well.
Oh, yeah.
At least it sounded like from his text messages that he was.
Definitely.
Yeah.
We're on a mission to get all of our Guidesley crew, whether they're at our Buffalo headquarters or Mitch down in Florida. We want everyone on the podcast at some point just to tell us their story, because you all are so unique in the experiences that you've had, and they're just quite honestly fun to hear.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, hopefully this time next year, we'll be through a super busy season with more boats, and I'll have a lot more entertaining stories for you. But like I said, I'm in the beginning stages of this. I don't really know the industry all that well. We're just getting going. We're 2 years in, and it looks like it could be something that turns into a decent business here.
And we're excited to be in the passenger seat.
Yeah, of course.
Well, I'm going to give a shout out to Mitch for literally helping us and championing Jamie and saying, "Oh, this guy's a rock star." So kudos to Mitch too. And Jamie, thanks for being with us today. It was great to learn a little bit more about your new business adventure, and we're glad that you've chosen Guidesley to take us along the way and help you. For those listening, we have a Facebook group for our Guidesley community. So if you haven't already, certainly go join our Guidesley community. We post a lot of fun pictures in there. A lot of our captains are sharing stories. And we just want to bring anglers together, or people maybe that are just looking for a great fishing experience, to see what everybody's talking about. So join our Guidesley community on Facebook.
All right. Well, Jamie, it has been awesome having you here today. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule to meet with us.
Yeah, same here. Thanks for having me.
Well, we're looking forward to talking to you soon. Excited to be in the passenger seat for this wild ride you got coming. All right.
Thanks, Jamie. Take care.
Bye, guys.